fun.
What?
The $80 pincushion.
Oh, yeah. It was so much fun.
And you know what I did?
Hmm.
In a moment of weakness.
You gave it away.
Oh gosh, no, I still have it.
Oh.
I dust it every once in a while. I ordered her block of the month this year.
Oh, it's fabulous, though.
It is beautiful. It is so cool. This is Sue Sparkle.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I looked at her.
And it was settled originally, here's the picture of the original farmhouse that sat right here on the spot. We kind of looked at using the old farmhouse as our visitor center, but the architect said it wasn't fit to really serve the purposes that we need. So we took it down and we built this visitor center on the footprint of the original house. And we built it somewhat in the style of that era that the original farm was settled. It was settled by a family named the Ewalls, and one of the first things they began growing on Hilltop Gardens, which they named that Hilltop Gardens, was aloe vera. The mother of the family had a garden around her house here, and she noticed one of the field hands had injured himself with a jig, and came up into her garden, grabbed a big leaf off of an aloe vera plant, and worked it on his injury, and back into the field again. That really was the inspiration behind them beginning to grow aloe vera commercially. This is the longest operating aloe vera farm in the country. And there's one other farm in Florida that preceded us, but it didn't last very long. And it sold a lot of other things and included aloe vera in its list. So it wasn't really an aloe vera farm, it was really a citrus and fruit farm. But our farm has been growing aloe vera as a major component of our crop selection since 1939. The Ewalls, Mrs. Ewald and her two daughters, one turned out to be a medical doctor and the other turned out to be a chemist. And they joined together in the early 50s and started a corporation, Hilltop Gardens, and started selling aloe vera products. They are recognized as the first people to begin to use aloe vera in concoctions, creams, and retail type things. And they had a whole line of products that they made here on the farm in a small operation in the back, and sold it nationwide, right here from this farm in Lyford, Texas. So this farm really does represent the modern aloe vera industry in the world. Our company bought out Hilltop Gardens in 1988. So we've been here a long time, actually. And our company is an aloe vera company. It's a corporation now. It's actually 13 companies, but each company has a different role in selling aloe vera. We have a farm operation, grows aloe vera. We have a company that makes products and sells products retail. We have a wholesale operation. We have a research and development company, but it's all about aloe. We're the leader right now in worldwide sales of aloe vera. The majority of our aloe is sold as ingredients. And a lot of other companies, Estee Lauder is one that is fairly well known, that uses our aloe vera in their products. And again, we really have the largest market share of aloe vera sales in the world. So a lot of the things that you see out in the market out there that has aloe vera in it, there's some likelihood that it could be from one of our farms. Our major operations in growing the aloe vera right now are down in Mexico. We have 4 farms down there, and then we have a really large aloe vera plantation on Hainan Island in China that grows aloe vera for the Asian market, which is very large, actually even larger than the aloe market in the United States. And our main corporate offices are now in Seattle, Washington. And Hilltop Gardens serves as a kind of a home base for the whole corporation. We have company events here every year. We bring people from all over the world to Lyford, Texas to see Hilltop Gardens and to see where the aloe industry began and where our company actually began. This farm, as far as our corporation is concerned, was the very first farm that they bought. Bill Lee, our CEO and president, with his father, started the company. They bought this farm as the first farm, and right out of college, young Bill Lee came to South Texas and started growing aloe vera. And he is the one, the son is the one that has built this big corporation, this worldwide company, that he started his business right here on this farm also. So it's a really a proud history that we have. Our farm is certified organic, which is quite an accomplishment. We now are growing through contract farmers. We grow a wide variety of vegetables. Most of the stuff that you see out in the farms, in the farm fields right now, wow, there's a huge amount of just acres and acres of peppers. We have jalapeno, bell peppers, and I believe red bell peppers also. We have squash, several different kinds of squash, several kinds of kale.
It was kale, Sylvia, that we saw.
That's around here?
Yes.
As you're coming in, Mel.
Just in our fields, we have organic hay that's harvested off of several plots out there, and then of course we have some aloe up at the very front there also. Hilltop Gardens isn't a major producer in our company any longer. One of our very first lessons that was learned about growing aloe vera, the very first year that we owned the farm, and 1988, and that Mr. Lee came to live here and start his business. At Christmas that year, I don't know if any of you were here in 1988, but it went to 16 degrees and stayed below freezing for 3 days almost. The second lifetime freeze that happened in the 80s. The first one was in 1982 at Christmas time. And except for the plants that they brought indoors during that freeze, every other plant was lost.
Yeah.
That's why our major production is now down in Mexico. There's an imaginary line drawn around the world called the Tropic of Cancer, and it's basically north of there it can freeze, below there it doesn't freeze.
Yeah.
And so we're down here in Tampico. All of the 4 farms are down there now, and 2 of those farms are already certified organic also. And now to the gardens. We're a little bit proud of it also. In 2014, our garden was in 2012, I'm sorry, was recognized with an award of merit by the American Society of Landscape Architects. I don't know, to my knowledge, we're the only botanical garden I know that has been given that award. We're very, very proud of the design here. The design of the gardens, the main concept of it is that of a healing garden. A healing garden is a place of respite. It's a place where you can go out and be in nature, feel the sunshine, see the colors and the textures of the plants, and hear the birds singing. All of that works within our human psyche and has its healing effects on it. There's plenty of scientific studies that show patients in hospitals that have windows do better than patients that don't have windows. That nature truly has that healing effect and a way of connecting us with our surroundings. So that's the main concept. Its style is very tropical. Although it's a mixed variety of plant material out there, we do have a lot of native plants. One of the things Mr. Lee challenged me with when we were designing the gardens was to leave as much that was here when I came as possible in designing the gardens. And we worked very hard and we're very proud of the fact that we were able to lay out all of these gardens amongst a kind of a beginning landscape. It was mainly trees and grass with a few flower beds here and there when I came. But we were able to do all of the tropical gardens that you see out there today without chopping down a single tree. We moved sidewalks and stuff as we were laying them out, and we made things fit in. And I believe it gave the garden a very a look like it's been here for a while. It's just over 4 years old, which is really amazing as a garden. So we're one of the only gardens in the certainly one of the only public gardens in this area that really highlights tropical plants, which is kind of unbelievable. A lot of our own landscapes at home, we use a lot of tropicals because we're one of the few areas in the country that can grow it outside. Mm-hmm. How nice is that? We have these long, wonderful growing seasons, and the gardens really matured quite nicely out there. There's lots and lots of other gardens in the valley. The Rio Grande Valley is very well known for its nature tourism, the birds and the butterflies and the dragonflies that people from all over the world come to the Rio Grande Valley to see. But almost all of those other gardens, the World Birding Center, the National Butterfly Center, the Westlaco Nature Center, all great gardens, but all native plant basically. Mm-hmm. And because their emphasis is on something very specific, and they need native plants to attract their targets. Here we went much broader, and we have found our own way of attracting lots of butterflies. So if you have a chance to walk around the gardens, I think you'll see a lot of them. We're in the middle right now of our fall migration. That's another thing that makes the Rio Grande Valley so famous. Twice a year in the spring and fall, birds and butterflies, insects migrate through this area in pretty large numbers. We're beginning to see a lot of hummingbirds in the gardens now. Some of them definitely will spend the winters here. And some of them, of course, will move on even further south. And, but we have a lot of nature that stops at this little oasis here. We're surrounded by agricultural fields, and this little canopy of trees attracts birds as they're coming through, and then the flowers and everything give them a place to stop and rest and during their migration. The gardens out there are designed with 4 major garden rooms, we call them in landscape design, garden spaces. There's a circular walkway around the visitor center here that's designed as a sensory walk, touch, feel, smell, taste, that kind of plantings around, and we have our memorial aloe garden. The aloe garden, an aloe vera company with a botanical garden has to have aloe garden.
Yeah.
And just to make it something really special, we contracted a gentleman in South Africa, the home of most of the aloes of the world, and he gathered a collection for us from Africa, sent it to Hilltop Gardens here, and in our garden we have a collection of over 200 species of aloes. In the world there's just over 300 species, and so we have a very large collection of species aloes that is recognized as the largest species collection in the United States. And so we're very proud of that also. The aloes are just beginning to bud and to come into bloom. They like the cooler months and will bloom through January, November, December, January, February, and sometimes into March. The collection is so large and comes from such a wide variety of habitats in Africa that we even find some that bloom in the summertime. We have aloes that grow into trees. We have miniature aloes. We have aloes that creep along the ground. There are a lot of different forms out there. There's several different colors. There's blue ones, and there's green ones, and there's striped ones, and spotted ones. So it's an interesting opportunity to see a wide variety of different kinds of the same plant. And that's a fun thing in the botanical world. Other gardens, we have a specific place that we call the healing garden. There's a reflecting pool there that reflects the images of the clouds passing by and trees around. It's back in this corner over here, and it's set amongst the tall trees. It's a good place to do some bird watching here at Hilltop Gardens. Very tropical and hedged all the way around. We wanted a space there that was even in the major garden area is kind of isolated, where you can sit by yourself. And there's benches around in kind of the big open space of the garden by the reflecting pool. Large numbers can sit around. And if you really want to get by yourself, back in the back of that garden, there's a sitting wall back there. You can look off into the agricultural fields and be under the trees there. Even the folks up in the front part of that garden may not see you back there. So it's a nice, very quiet and individual spot there in the gardens. And then up in the front of the gardens up there, we have the children's garden, which is just a kind of a collection of fun little details there. There's a pond with a little stream that runs down into it. There's a section that we call our palm forest that is very heavily planted with tropical plants, and just a a little walk through a jungle there. There's a playground, of course. It's a children's garden. Nice big sandy area and a fun playground unit that we built on site. And nice big circular walkway. So lots and lots of easy walking here and a lot of fun things to see in the gardens. And we hope you take that opportunity while you're here to walk around. I don't know if you noticed at night, we do have lights that come on with timers, and so even in the evening it's quite pleasant out there. So, one last thing, as our guest, we want to offer you a little goodie bag of Hilltop Garden products.
Yay! Thank you.
In each bag you'll find a tube of aloe vera gel.
Oh my goodness.
You'll find a tube of aloe vera gel with eucalyptus. The aloe vera gel is great for anything topical, putting on your skin,
Thank you.
for any kind of an injury or a rash or anything like that. Aloe vera just works so many wonderful ways in our body.
Thank you so much.
And then the one with the eucalyptus I like particularly for things like insect bites, anything itchy.
Itchy.
Eucalyptus is very definitely medicinal, has medicinal value also. And then there's some moisturizer and some anti-wrinkle cream. So
Wrinkle cream.
Who needs that?
Wrinkle cream. Does it come in gallon sizes? Thank you. And this is Paul. He didn't introduce himself, but his name is Paul.
My name is Paul Thorne. I am the Botanical Garden Manager. Our horticulture supervisor is Victor Blaylock.
Hi.
And if you haven't all met Joseph Kim, I'm sure he'll be in and out
Yes.
for a while. Joseph Kim is our executive vice president. So.
Were you all ever at Market Days in Harlingen? No. Have you ever been in?
I haven't been at market days, no.
No.
This was a couple of years ago. Okay.
They've been on Con Mi Gente in Texas
Oh,
We have.
monthly.
We have some short videos that I would like to show you. One is one that we do kind of as an introduction to the gardens. It's about 3.5 minutes and probably the longest one there. And so if you have a few more minutes.
absolutely.
Thank you. We have one more lady, Paul, that's coming in sometime today. But the question was, is your gift shop going to be open on Saturday? Are you open on Saturday? Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah.
We're just kind of getting rolling on our season here. Again, as a botanical garden, we're kind of unusual in that summer is the real season for most gardens, but down here in South Texas, winter is our season.
Yeah.
So cold.
Oh, thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
So we're just getting rolling, and hopefully by towards the end of the year, we'll have a gift shop running, and we're going to hire somebody to take care of that part of it for us. And just not quite there yet. Okay, again, the first one is called Welcome to Hilltop Gardens.
Welcome to Hilltop Gardens, the historical home of Bethel. Far from the sounds, lights, and energy of the city. It is a place to experience nature. A place to enjoy. A place to learn. A place to revitalize your mind, healing garden, with its many medicinal plants and reflecting pool, is a place that encourages contemplation and centering. The Memorial Aloe Garden is a home to our premier collection of the aloe plant family, historically recognized for its diverse healing properties. The Sensory Walk is just that, a place to touch, smell, feel, and listen. And for the Children's Garden provides fun for all ages. Our visitor center, the Ewald House, is named after the original owners of Hilltop Gardens, Lee and Sherman Ewald, who introduced aloe vera to the Rio Grande Valley in 1939. Through their efforts, their farm became one of the first commercial aloe farms in the country, and it is believed that they, with the help of their chemist daughter, Phyllis Schmidt, were the first to develop cosmetics that used aloe vera as one of the ingredients. Continuing in that tradition, we carry our own line of Hilltop Gardens products that can be purchased in our gift shop. Hilltop Gardens and Farm was purchased in 1988 by Alocorp, a sister company to the Gardens, and under the visionary and creative direction of Bill Lee, the current chairman of EcoNet, has become part of a blossoming global aloe vera industry. The gardens are surrounded by a 500-acre experimental farm, a 12-month operation that grows premium quality crops. The farm is certified organic and follows good agricultural practices. The concept of the gardens is based on the healing power of aloe and has been designed as a respite from the hectic world. It's a place where our visitors can learn, explore, and experience nature. It's a place that promotes wellness of mind, body, and spirit. This is Hilltop Gardens' first completed phase of a vision that offers a natural setting to promote healing and wellness. Future developments, following our master plan, will offer our visitors even more opportunities to enjoy and experience the gardens. Enjoy your visit at Hilltop Gardens and come back often to watch our fields and gardens grow.
This is one of the coming into is the next section of the Sensory Walk. We have wonderful fragrance plants. The Sensory Walk is a circular path around our visitor center. It's divided into 5 sections for the senses: touch, taste, smell, sight, and sound.
Paul Thornton is the garden manager. We told you about Hilltop Gardens in Lyford a month ago, the Valley's original aloe vera farm, which also just opened a bed and breakfast.
The Rio Grande Valley really is one of the few places in our country that allows us to grow tropical plants, and a lot of tropical plants are great medicinal plants also.
Today, Paul takes us on a tour of the garden.
The bamboo with a nice breeze creaks and moans and talks to people, I like to say. Smell is the next section of the Sensory Walk. Ylang ylang tree. They make an essence from the flower that they use in Chanel No. 5. This section is dedicated to the sense of touch, and so we have plants here that have different texture to them. The powder puff flower, just everybody wants to walk up and touch it.
And don't forget, there's also the section for taste and for sight, and there is the healing garden itself.
The healing garden is a garden that's designed to highlight medicinal plants. The reflecting pool and very quiet, meditative type spaces in this garden.
In addition, there is a children's garden and the Aloe Memorial Garden.
We imported 200 species of aloe from South Africa.
They only charge $1 for taking a tour, and they have their own gift shop. From Paul, this garden is
The healing aspect of it, the concept of it has a great meaning to me. I think it's so unique.
It's Paul Thornton and the Healing Gardens at Hilltop Gardens in Lyford. For Channel 5 Summer Theaters, Media.
They're also on YouTube. You can YouTube it and we'll come in.
This last one I'll show you is on the power of aloe vera, and it talks a little bit about some of our products and stuff. But we have these videos on a loop, so if you want to take a break from your sewing or whatever and come over, they're on, so you can sit and watch any or all of these. We have a whole bunch of them, so different ones. But I think you'll like this.
The photos on the walls, are they from here?
Not all of them were taken here, but some of them definitely were. That one, probably this one, a few others. This group of photos is here, compliments of the Texas Nature and Environmental Photographers Group out of McAllen.
Okay.
I think they're really valley-wide, but they meet in McAllen.
Okay.
And their specialty is just native nature photography.
Okay.
So that was our only criteria there, but definitely some of them were taken.
Thank you.
We are born to dream. We are truly born to dream.
This is it. The moment when a narrative unfolds. When a journey begins. A small seed in time, watered with a dream, planted in one truth. This is the story of aloe. This is the story of Univera.
Univera is one of our sister companies. They're the one that make and sell the products.
Passed from generation to generation, it begins at a turning point when young Ho Lee experienced the miraculous life-enhancing power of aloe vera. With a new purpose, he founded Univera to bring the power of aloe to the world. This passion was passed from father to son, and Bill Lee joined his father's work.
Even today, he has lived with me because we share a common dream, to share the best of nature to all mankind.
Univera's aloe roots go deep, to the very beginning of aloe farming itself. It started in 1939. Hilltop Gardens, now known as the historic home of aloe vera. What began as a dream has expanded into a worldwide network of farms, research facilities, and manufacturing sites. Under Bill Lee's guidance, we have truly become the global leader in aloe. Deep within each aloe plant is a powerful story, a story of health and wellness. Univera brings a perfect balance between science and nature, harnessing the power of aloe like no one else. Aloe's power comes from naturally occurring polysaccharides. These polysaccharides are long chains of sugar molecules proven to support your immune system, promote healthy digestion, and give you more youthful-looking skin. Each polysaccharide varies in size and shape. Others say bigger is better, but harnessing the power of aloe is much more complex than that. We use a unique patented technology, isolating the most effective range of polysaccharides in the aloe plants. This is the aloe sweet spot. Our process is groundbreaking, tapping directly into the sweet spot to deliver the most bioactivity and the greatest immune support. We guarantee the highest purity, the greatest potency, and the most biological activity. We are the leader in aloe. Rooted in aloe's rich history and dedicated to bringing the best of nature to humankind. press boldly into the future of aloe innovation. Introducing Univera's Aloe Select. Univera combines specially selected and hand-harvested pink aloe with cutting-edge technology to deliver the most bioactive aloe ever produced. Aloe Select contains 3 times the amount of health-enhancing polysaccharides than the closest competitors. By standardizing the ideal size and amount of polysaccharides in every batch, each refreshing drop of Aloe Select delivers the best nature has to offer.
We are born to dream. We are truly born to dream.
This is a story passed from generation to generation. Written in the soil and water, witnessed by the sun, and carried to the future. This is the story of the world's best aloe.
Wow.
Awesome.